This signifies a realm of opportunity. All of us as human beings have opportunities in every moment. When we went out for lunch, you had opportunities of asking someone, what do you do? What are you looking for in your business? I might have that contact. Asking people, do you know anyone that can do this or that can offer this? And you could have created all sorts of opportunities just on that break. You could have created partnerships. You could have created alliances. You could have created a weekly call where you all hold yourself to account to elevate yourself to the next level, right? Did any of you think of anything like that? Diminished realm of opportunity. You see, before transformation, this is what happens. I am Dan Warburton, a transformational coach who's known for having enabled thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners to succeed in extraordinary ways. I've also got web spaces full of testimonials backing this up, and I'm often invited to speak to audiences of thousands around the world about what transformation makes possible. I now get to live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I want you to be able to experience the same. This is all your opportunities that you have available to you any moment, any time. But what happens is, let's say, for instance, for me, being bullied at school. And when I was bullied at school, I had ideas of like, I'm small, I'm weak. And as a result of that, I wouldn't ever go and kind of spend time with the cool kids or try and make them laugh. So I end up being on my own or with all the misfits and the weird people. Actually, I felt more at home, and I still do now. But then that's continued. And it meant that if anybody was ever powerful, I wouldn't just go up to them and say, hi, my name's Dan, I do this, I do that, and I would avoid that. And so I would miss out on all sorts of opportunities. And so when that opportunity was there, I just couldn't see it. I wouldn't even think of what to say or how to approach them. And so what happened was, of all my realm of opportunity, all the opportunities that fell into that category, I would just not do, yeah? Or perhaps if we've got like stories like, I'm not good enough, I don't fit in, and somebody says, hey, get on stage and speak about yourself. What do? Do we say, yeah, I'll do it, I'll go for it?
Yes.
Well, you might do. You do now. Yeah? But if we're thinking that, usually we would say, oh, no, I'm not going to speak on stage, right? We have a fear of public speaking. Where does that fear of public speaking comes from? Disempowering interpretations about ourselves and the world. So what happens is that we then go and, just cross off a whole series more of the opportunities that are available to us. And then we see somebody that we like. We could go and ask them out on a date, go and just say hello, and who knows what could happen. But, oh no. And so instantly, we lose a load more about our own opportunity. And it just goes on. It's like, well, that'll never work, so I won't even try that. No, I won't go and apply for that job because I just haven't got the qualifications. I won't go after those people because they'll just think I'm weird. And so what happens is that as human beings, we end up living in like a tiny little realm. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Have any of you ever had that experience of like, I'm going to work again? I didn't even ask you to raise your hands, and you were like, oh my god. Yeah? That's because of this. That's because you've just closed off all the opportunities around you because you think you can't do them. Yeah? So that's what happens. That's what there is before transformation. Because before transformation, your realm of opportunity is just closed off with nonsense. Does that make sense? Did you learn something from that? Raise your hands if you learned something from that. Very good. So, let me tell you about Lucy. So, Lucy was a very, very qualified nutritionist. She had loads and loads of, she had degrees, she had a diploma, and she wanted to be a nutritionist, and she was working as a nutritionist, and she was working for people, marathon runners. But the problem is these marathon runners, there'd only be like 2 marathons a year, and she'd have so much work and be completely burnt out, and then the rest of the year not have much work. And when she had work, she was hardly being paid much at all. So it was like a little bit of money, absolutely no money. A little bit of money, absolutely no money. And just feeling like she couldn't break out of it, right? But once we began doing this work, when we got into it, she realised that all her certificates didn't mean anything. that she can have all the qualifications in the world and be a specialist at something, but unless she's out there speaking to people and telling people what she does and creating opportunities, then nothing's going to happen. And if you guys know about it, you know people, they just keep going back to education, they go get another qualification, and they end up doctor, PhD, all this, and they've got all these initials behind their names, right? Quite often, not everyone, but quite often that's an attempt to try and survive the world, to prove to the world that I am this, rather than actually becoming successful. And what Lucy learned is this, is that information doesn't do much. How many books are there on losing weight, and people read those books and then still don't lose weight? Or how many books are there on how to stop smoking and people still don't stop smoking? Or how to find love and they're still single? Or how to get rich quick? How many get rich quick schemes, books, courses are there out there? Loads, right? And how many people do them and still don't become rich? It's because they're always looking for knowledge. How much knowledge are you guys getting when you go to a seminar? Loads! And then we go and register on some courses and they give us, I'm going to give you all these books, I'm going to give you all these videos, I'm going to give you this, that, and they build up this whole sales package, right? And it goes on and on and on, and it's like, wow, so much value for my money. And then we pay for it, and then we go and do these courses, and then it's just more information, and then a lot of the time it doesn't work. How many of us have one of these in our pockets? Everyone has, right? How much knowledge can you get on one of those? As much as you like, But knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is power. Really, action is power. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, all your qualifications, all the knowing that you know, but unless you put it in action, share it with people, go and create deals, close sales, are you going to get to serve it to anyone? You're not. That'll never happen, right? Does that make sense? You see, until knowledge is acted upon, knowledge is only potential power. To truly succeed, the thought-based interpretations that cause us to not put knowledge into action must be unlearned. This process is transformation. Are you guys getting it? Are you seeing what transformation is? Can you see how it's the bringing awareness of what's there, running us, and then becoming so aware of it that we unlearn it. We see the ridiculousness of it. We see that we don't need to be that way anymore. And then in unlearning that, then we feel motivated into taking action. And then we take action, and then we begin to succeed. Does that make sense? You're all looking a bit sleepy. You all right? Yeah. Is it too much information?
Too much carbohydrates.
Too much carbohydrates, yeah. I know, I try to keep my portions small, yeah. So, you see, Lucy had an interpretation of herself. So she was 7 years old, she was sat on the edge of her little single bed with her sister next to her, and they could hear their parents arguing downstairs, they were smashing plates. So she got up off the bed, and she was listening to it through the wall, and then all of a sudden, bang, the back door slammed. So she ran over to the end of her room, and she had a look out the window, and she could see her father walk up the garden path, slam the gate, and walk off. And in that moment, she was thinking this, I'm not important. And so what happened was, even though she had all this knowledge, all these qualifications, she would never say to anyone, hi, I'm a health and nutrition specialist. I can help you lose weight. I can assist you with your diabetes. Would you like a consultation? She would never do that, out of fear that they would just laugh at her and not take her seriously, and she'd think, oh, I'm just not important. And so that's why she ended up in these jobs where she was bullied into the corner. Yeah? A little bit like Priya before she had that breakthrough. She was kind of bullied into something she didn't really want to do. Yeah? But then I took her through this 7-point transformation mandala. This is the thing that's like the actual transformational process. And if you do the process correctly, what happens is you enable your survival part of your mind, your brain, to see that what you're doing is not helping it survive. When that part of your brain gets that shock, Then it lets go of what it's doing, and it just realizes, oh my God, I can see it now, I'm not going to do that anymore. And the way we experience it physically is this like release, all this weight just falls off our shoulders and we feel at ease. Yeah? And that's what happens. And then from there, that feeling of ease, it's like, well, how do you feel now? Oh, I feel free, I feel great, I feel powerful, I feel joyful, I feel alive. And then they become our empowered state. We can then be that in the world at any moment, whenever we choose. And then we start visualizing, okay, if I keep being this way and I choose this as a way of being, what is my full expression in the world? What's going to become possible in the world because of me being this way? And that's the journey. And it takes about 2 hours. And when I go through it with my clients, we have like a really amazing video call. We'll go through it together. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And I've designed this, I came up with this because of the breakthroughs that I've had, and then I spent years trying to find a language to describe what is it that happened to me, and how did it work, and how can I have other people experience it. And then over the years in coaching, trying to get next person, try again, next person, try again, try again, try again. Having now coached well over 1,000 entrepreneurs and business owners and taken them through this journey, it's now become what it is now. And it's settled, like I can't get this any better than it is now. And it enables people to have literally life-changing breakthroughs in one conversation. Good, right? Yes. Yeah. So that's what's required. Number one, work out the future that you're headed for. Realise that you don't want that. Secondly, do the inner work. Find out what's causing you to not take action, to procrastinate, to play small, to not really go after those things, yeah? And then unlearn those causes, and that's transformation. And this is Lucy now, so she's got a website up and running, she's got a series of high-paying clients, she's in the traveling world, and she says here, Dan's process helped me motivate me into action, working smarter and not harder. As a result, I am confidently specialising in my area of passion around diabetes and hormone work. So from not that to that, yeah? And you see here, it wasn't more knowledge that enabled Lucy to succeed, it's not more knowledge. It was transforming the way she viewed herself, which is the unlearning of the way she viewed herself. And I saw more pictures of her here on the south of France and just really enjoyed life. It's really lovely to see.